This is CBS News Bay Area with Reed Cowan.
We have some work here to do in Oakland, and public safety is our number one issue.
Right off the top at 3 o'clock, the firing and the fallout. All eyes this afternoon on Oakland after a police chief gets the axe by a brand new mayor. We're hearing from you in the field, online, and conversations in studio today. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan, and that is where we begin in Oakland. Seems like everywhere you turn, somebody's swinging a virtual fist at the firing of LeRonne Armstrong. Some are for it, some are against it, and in the middle of it all, new Mayor Sheng Tao. So that is where we start today, on the steps the mayor takes every day going to her new job, Oakland City Hall. And this is what we found on the mayor's doorstep.
We feel that our voices should have been heard. We love our city. We care about our city, and we are adamant about making sure that our city's voices are heard. Yes. So today we're standing, today we're fighting, and we're going to continue to fight.
And the year is just getting started. This will be a story that's likely to go on for months and months. Let's bring in Ann Makovic. She's watching it all in real time. And if Mayor Tao wanted an easy start to her job, she didn't get it.
She sure did not. This is yet another change at the top of the Oakland Police Department. Armstrong was already the 10th chief the city has seen since 2011. And a lot of questions still remain as Mayor Tao stressed that she fired Armstrong without cause.
Again, this is not a disciplinary action. The chief does serve at the will of the mayor. And again, I've lost confidence in Chief LeRonne Armstrong.
Now, this all comes after a back and forth over how Armstrong handled a police misconduct case where a former OPD sergeant was accused of a hit and run and firing his service weapon inside the elevator at police headquarters. We got a new statement from Armstrong this afternoon. He said, "Please know that I continue to believe my termination was the result of a fundamentally flawed process that resulted in unfair, inaccurate conclusions about me. I am continuing to evaluate my legal options to preserve my rights and my hard-earned reputation." Oakland city leaders have been reacting to the news as well. Oakland Council President Nikki Fortuno Bass supports the mayor's decision, but Council member Noel Gallo's reaction is the opposite.
I think what the mayor did was a mistake. Firing someone for no cause is really unacceptable.
Now, this firing is another big setback for the police department, already struggling with staffing troubles and plenty of violent crime. Now the search begins to find Oakland's new top cop, Reed.
Can you imagine what the next city council meeting is going to be like? Ann Makovic joining us live. Thank you so much. And also joining me live right now, former Oakland council member and mayoral candidate Ignacio de la Fuente. You've got a long history in Oakland. You ran on saying, hey, I've been here, I'm stepping forward to do something about the many problems Oakland faces. In a line, do you agree with the firing of the chief?
Absolutely not. Total disagreement. I believe that obviously the biggest challenge Oakland has is crime and the safety of our citizens. For the mayor to take this action without really thinking shows the inexperience, and it shows the fact that she is more perceptible to the small voices that are the naysayers than the cities of Oakland. The crime in Oakland is off the hook, and unfortunately, the action of the mayor is going to create even more problems.
You know, if we can get the mayor to talk to us and engage in questions on this broadcast, we would ask, okay, police reform. We know and anticipate that is a drumbeat that you definitely have. What do you say to what we would anticipate her being a talking point on police reform? Is this the right choice to make to reform police in Oakland?
Absolutely. Reforming police means, in my opinion, means that we have to deliver. We have to protect our citizens and our businesses. And we're going in the opposite direction. Sometimes the criminals or the people that are committing the crimes have more rights than the people and the citizens of Oakland. I believe that we have created an environment where people can do whatever they feel they want to do with no consequence. And I think this is what's happening to Oakland. And I think the citizens have to really, really make clear to this mayor that the safety is priority number one, not just by words, but by actions. And I believe that we are on the wrong track here.
And Ignacio, you really raise who I think about. I think about the citizens who are watching this broadcast, who are watching this story play out in real time. These citizens are tired of this. We hear over and over and over that this has been a long history, a roller coaster ride with Oakland PD. So much leadership, so many problems, so many scandals, and now another one. How do you think this is going to play out?
There's got to be more outrage. I mean, I think that the business community, the residents of Oakland must stand up and don't allow small groups of people to run the city. The reality is that Oakland is still the only city that is closed. City Hall is closed. Excuse me. I mean, pandemic is over. Businesses have the right, and citizens have the right to go to City Hall, that we pay the taxes. To me, it's an incredible what's happening to Oakland. And I believe that is the signs that we see in we losing confidence on this mayor to be able to handle the situation. No experience, with all due respect. And I think that Oakland needs someone that is really willing to make the right calls for the right people. The unions are running the show, with all due respect. That's the reason why City Hall is closed. It's time to reopen City Hall. It's time to do what we used to do. When you look at, we spend years and years trying to recruit Oakland residents, Oakland natives. We have a chief that is an Oakland native. And here we go. In her speech, she respects him, she likes him, but she's firing him. Thank you very much.
So in the next couple of seconds, in just a line, we're seeing a drumbeat where people are saying online and elsewhere that they want the mayor to step down. Do you believe Sheng Tao should step down in the midst of this controversy?
I'm not going to go there. I believe that any mayor has the biggest challenges. The problem with this mayor is that I think she's listening to the wrong people. She's not hiring the right professional staff with experience to run a city. Campaign is over. Ideology is over. Now we have to run the city in the best interest of the residents and the businesses of the city.
I want to let our viewers know that we're trying to reach out to Mayor Sheng Tao's office. I called today. I asked the mayor to be a part of the conversations on this broadcast. And you know what happened? I got a voicemail. To his point that City Hall is closed, when that voicemail picked up, I selected that option on my phone to be transferred to an assistant. That transfer met another message, and here's what it said: a backup operator can't be reached. So how do you get a hold of Mayor Sheng Tao about her decision to fire your police chief in Oakland? In the absence of being able to get her by phone, we'll do it right here, live on television. Mayor Tao, with respect, please come on this broadcast to answer questions in real time. Statements don't give us that chance to have a conversation, and that's what we do here at 3 o'clock. We do our job by asking the questions, by listening to what you have to say, so we hope you'll take our invitation and help us do what we do in that regard. Well, we know you're sounding off at home via Twitter. We hear you. In fact, I put out a poll on the CBS News Bay Area Twitter page to see what the average person in the Bay Area thought about Mayor Tao's decision about firing Chief Armstrong. There's still plenty of time to cast your vote. 43% of you in that poll say yes, you agree. 57% of you say no. That's where the results currently stand to our question about agreeing or disagreeing with the chief's ouster. In fact, one commenter on that Twitter poll said, and I quote, "Oh, hell no." Back to our coverage of Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao's decision to fire Police Chief LaRon Armstrong, saying she did it because she lost faith in the chief. For more reaction to the firing of Armstrong, we're joined now by the president of Oakland's branch of the NAACP, Cynthia Adams. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining me. You know, I have to think about the people who live in Oakland, the people who raise their kids there, send their kids to school, do business there. This is yet another wound in Oakland. What's the answer to healing the community?
We need to come home and we need to come together as one big community and one big family. This is really, really hard for Oakland. I just got out of a strategy meeting, getting ready for a big rally that we're organizing on for February the 20th at 10 o'clock at City Hall. And we want everyone to come out and support this. And I want to thank the people that came out earlier to kick off the rally, because this is a very hard situation what we're going through. Chief Armstrong was not only just the chief of Oakland, he also lived in Oakland all his life. And it's hurting a lot of people. It touched home.
I think that's a powerful way to say it. It touched home. The word you chose, it touched home. You know, I do think about the people who are living in the wake of this, people who are fair-minded. You know, the mayor has transmitted not a lot about what happened in those private conversations between her and now the former police chief. Was it enough for her to say, things he said caused me to lose confidence in him? Or do you want to hear more as you evaluate the situation?
We need to hear more. We're asking for more. A lot of things came out in the media. A lot of leaked stuff came out, and we're asking for an investigation. We want these to be investigated. The leaks needs to be investigated. We're demanding for the leaks to be investigated. We're demanding for the chief to be restated back to his position. But the most of all, we need to find out who sent those leaks out. Someone did it. We need to know who did it. We need to know who did, and we're asking for an investigation.
What leaks specifically are you talking about?
The leaks that came out in the paper and the news media about the report, the documents, Channel 2 that was reported, Oakland Lakeside News article that was reported. It's a lot of information came out personal. So we're asking for an investigation of that. That is one of the main things that the community want. And also another thing too, and I hope Mayor Change is watching this, because the community, the voters asked for the chief to be restored back. The voters that's supposed to have voted for her asked for the chief to come back to work.
If you don't get what you want as voters and as advocates for the now former police chief, what next?
It's left up to the voters. It's left up to the voters.
What do you fear could happen?
I don't know. We want the chief to be restored back.
I appreciate the conversation so very much. We hope you'll see this 3 o'clock broadcast as the landing point to have these conversations, even when they are painful.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome back to your community station, continuing what is a painful community conversation today regarding the firing of now former Oakland Police Chief Lerong Armstrong. He released a new statement this afternoon saying, in part, I'm continuing to evaluate my legal options to preserve my rights and my hard-earned reputation. And so we turn to the legal part of this. For that, we're joined by Michelle Huff, a lawyer right here in the Bay Area. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. If that doesn't say it, I don't know what does. Lawyers are going to get involved here. What do you think will happen?
I think you're absolutely right. And thank you for having me, Reed. We really need to find out and have more information than what's been released publicly at this time. I think that your previous question with respect to have we heard all of the information that can inform our decision, I just don't think that we have just yet. But I think that we're going to see a long process and likely litigation over the matter.
Nothing like litigation to bring the discovery, to bring that information. What information do you want? I know that I want to know. If I had the opportunity to ask the mayor this question, I'd want to know, so what happened in those closed-door conversations between you and the now fired police chief that caused you to lose confidence? What kind of discovery do you want to see?
Absolutely. I think the important a key piece of information is what interests have had to be balanced. What interest is she balancing? What type of call to action is happening in the community? What is the response or result that she's seeking? And how was the former chief falling short of that? That's the type of information that I would want to see given his decades of service, public service.
So the mayor has really a case to make regarding police reform. And, you know, they've talked about in her office and the larger conversation over years about police reform in Oakland. Is it an uphill battle using this case as what she will need to make her larger case about police reform in Oakland?
Well, I think she certainly has opened up a large discussion by entering it this way. But, you know, Oakland, we've had some time, it's been decades since Mayor Jean Quan was in office. There's been an outcry for police reform, and I don't have to recite the numerous deaths and violence, calls of violence that we've had to deal with in Oakland. So it's really, she's in a catch-22. She has to take action. She has to do something to increase the public perception and the actuality of the protection that the public's receiving in Oakland, while balancing long-held and pillars of the community. Those are competing interests, and she certainly does have an uphill battle there.
Let's talk about the community and this new statement that has been released by the now former police chief through his spokesperson, Sam Singer. He says that he wants to thank the former mayor Oakland Police Commission, Oakland NAACP, the spiritual community, the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, API community, neighborhood and community leaders. Now, if you take that at face value, it's just a nice sentiment. It's a thank you. Do you take that as a deeper strategy saying, hey, I worked with all of you community organizations, now get behind me?
I think you're spot on there, Reed. There certainly seems to be a bit of political posturing in this. And I do just want to counter that with, I've been in law 26 years. I'm a former police officer, former patrol supervisor. I don't take lightly the chief being terminated. And I do believe that he's done his best and made his best efforts to serve the citizens of Oakland. At the same time, though, if the demographics and the results, the calls, and the fallout of violence and continue high murder rate, et cetera, if we're just not seeing the results that are needed for the community, then that's something that has to be dealt with. And unfortunately, matriculation is usually how that gets done.
We thank you, Attorney Huff, for talking to us. When it really comes down to it, we have to remember in all of this talk and all of this posturing, positioning, the people of Oakland live there, send their kids to school there, transact there, and they need a community that comes together, as our voice from the NAACP said to us on live TV just a minute ago. May it be so. Come together. Hey, don't forget, we want to hear what you think about this decision. Vote in the poll that we posted to our CBS News Bay Area Twitter account and cast your vote. Right now, a majority, 54% of you, have sounded off, voting that you do not agree with Mayor Sheng Tao's decision to fire the police chief.